Hello, 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 everybody. How is everyone on this awesome Tuesday evening? You guys, we are here on another Tuesday for some Technique Tuesdays. We do technique-based cards on Tuesday. Sometimes the technique is very simple. Sometimes it's a little bit more challenging, but we are working on techniques on Tuesday. So tonight, if you saw the introduction to this video, you'll see that we are working on a ripping and tearing technique tonight. So come on into the craft room, you guys, and let's get ready to be creative. You guys, I am Caron Bailey. I am your ATX Stampin' Lady, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I've been a demonstrator for almost 10 years now. I think I'm going on 9 years. I didn't look at the numbers. But I have been a demonstrator for almost 10 years, and I am loving my Stampin' Up journey, and I would love to share with you what I love about stamping, what I love about Stampin' Up, what I love about crafting. So join me, I think on Tuesday this week, I'm just going to do a little informational gathering with you guys, just to talk to you a little bit about my love of this particular craft, which is card making and paper crafting. So, like I said, tonight we are working on the ripping and tearing technique. It's a simple technique, but we're going to have so much fun with it, and we're going to try to do this in 2 different processes. Our goal tonight is to work on 5 cards, you guys. Well, that's a bit lofty, but we are going to work on 5 cards. All right, try to anyway. So, if you are new to my channel, welcome. I know you have your choice of demonstrators and other crafters that you can watch, so I'm pretty excited and pleased as punch that you decided to join me in the craft room for a little bit of crafting extravaganza. If you're returning, hey girl, come on into the craft room and let's get ready to craft. So tonight we are working, let me tell you what we're working with. I'm going to be using the Zinnia bundle, and you guys, the Zinnia is not in the catalog. It is not a catalog item. It is an online exclusive, so you will only be able to find this catalog in the online store, in my online store, on the online exclusive section of the page. And I'm going to go back and link all of that to the in the description box, so you know where to go and find this. Okay. So this is, like I said, it's an online exclusive. It is a set of 7 stamps, and there are coordinating dies, which we will probably more than likely be using this evening. There are 15 dies in this bundle that we can do all kinds of creative goodness with the Stampin' Die bundles. Alright, so I've got to figure out a better way to do this. I try to keep everything so organized on here. Doesn't always work that way. But we're going to make it work tonight, y'all. Okay? Anyway, so these are the dies. And this is a suite collection, so that means it comes with additional items. So this suite collection comes with some designer series paper, which we are going to use some of it tonight. Okay, probably this piece right here, maybe another. And the colors that I've decided that I want to work with, I don't normally do a lot of stuff in pink, you guys. It's not my favorite color. So tonight I'm going to force myself to play in pinks. So we are going to be working with Pretty in Pink and Melon Mambo for our pinks. And we're going to use, I think I'm going to use Granny Apple Green and Old Olive for my greens. I might change this out a little bit because I'm not sure how I'm liking this combination. But we'll see where we get to that. If you go through our catalog, all of our inks and our colors can be found on pages 133, where we list all of our colors. Pretty in Pink is part of the new in color combination collection, and our Melon Mambo is part of our Brights collection. Okay, You can find all the information on our Brights collection on page 136 of the annual catalog, and everything on the In Colors on page, let me see what page that is. Page 139. Okay, so let me share with you what we're going to need to create our 5 cards tonight, you guys. That's my goal. So we're going to start with the first 4, and we're going to create them to be a set, which is why we're going to try to get through 5 cards tonight. So the first 4, like I mentioned, is going to be a set, and we're going to need 5 pieces of basic white cardstock. Okay, and these I've cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then we're going to mat 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I've got 2 pieces of each color, Melon, Mambo, and Pretty in Pink. Okay, our card base is more than likely going to be basic white, and we'll decide that as we go along. So what's the fun part of the ripping and tearing technique? Well, let me share that with you, okay? So, and it's important that everything be the same size because that's what we're going to work with, okay? So what we're going to do, the fun part about this, let me grab, I'm going to cause a little bit of a commotion over here. Give me just a second, okay? So the ripping, what we're going to use, so this is the tearing technique, and we're going to also do a little bit of masking as well. Well, a lot of masking. So in order to get our mask, we're going to employ the ripping and tearing technique. Now, what's important about the ripping and tearing technique is you rip towards yourself, and you rip slowly, so that you get the different and the variations in the ridges, and the more detailed or the more rips and edges that you have, the better and the more texture you'll create in your card. So we're just going to rip, and I'm just going to pick a point in the center, approximately the center, and I'm just going to rip till the end, and I'm ripping on the long side. So here we go. And I'm just ripping and slowly using my left thumb as a guide. Okay, so we want those 2 pieces. Okay, so next I'm going to bring in a little bit of a glass mat. Yeah, I have my Stampin' Up glass mat, and I really don't like to get it dirty, so I bring out other people's so I get those dirty. I know, how silly is that, right? All right, so what I'm going to grab is a little bit of repositionable tape, just a little bit of it. Or if you have, I'm trying to find my repositionable tape, and it's not making itself known. How convenient is that? So I'm going to grab a little bit of this mint tape, and what I'm going to do, just going to put it on the back, right? We don't really want it to stick, or at least I don't. Alright. Let's hope this works. It does not work. So let's see if we can make this work. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a point. And all that's going to do is to try to help keep everything steady and stable. It's not working. Ooh, no. So we're just going to have to be very extra careful about what we're doing. Then we're going to pick a point on the bottom. I know what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. We have to improvise sometimes, y'all. So what I'm doing is I know that my my mask, I'm going to leave this area open. So I'm just going to put some of the tape to keep it in place on the top and the bottom. And that's already going to be covered by the mask anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. All right, so then we're just going to grab a position here. Grab a little bit more masking tape. Or this green tape, whichever one you choose. I need a bit of it. And we're going to secure this side here. Then we're going to pick a spot down here and do the same thing. Doesn't have to be perfect unless perfect is your gig. All right. So now that we've done that, okay, I'm going to start with my pretty and pink. And again, when we do ink blending, we kind of want to start light and then add more color if we need for it to be a little bit darker. Okay. And I'm just picking spots. You can do more, you can do less. I'm going to fill in and I'm going to see. I always start with a little bit and then add as I go. I'm going to go in with Melon Mambo. And then where I don't have color already, kind of just going to fill in that spot. Go back with the pretty and pink. Because that's just what I mean about adding as you go, where you see that you need to add a little bit more, then you just add a little bit more. We're going to leave this mask in place. Let's grab our stamp set. I don't think I've used this set at all, so hopefully I've done what I should have done. I did. And I've already put the stickers on the back, so I was happy that I did that. Now we're just gonna go in. Ooh, do I want to do that? I might. No, I'm gonna for this first one, I'm gonna go in with the large image. Okay. gonna bring in Petunia Pop. That's a change. I was gonna do it with black, but I just decided that I wanted to go in with Petunia Pop, also from the In Colors. There we go. And you do want to keep your mask in place. Okay. Okay. Now sometimes you might want to go in with a little bit of a more pressure. Grab that little chunky tool. Okay. See, I should have done a little bit more pressure up there. I won't do it again. Okay. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go in with the leaves. The leaves. Now we have these little star colors in here. We're going to add a little bit of splotchy. That's what I call them, my splotches. I love my splotches. I'm going to try to keep this, at least this first one, a little bit monochromatic. A little bit of a halo there, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of surgery on this stamp to get rid of some of the rubber. Okay. I'm gonna have to get rid of a lot of the red rubber on this one. Okay. Okay. And there we go. Now we can remove and see what we've created. And here's our first card. Now, put that aside. I'm going to do the other ones just because it's just easier to make sure we get them all done while this is this is on the platform. Alright, so the next one we're going to do, we're going to use the same, because we're keeping this as part of a set, don't forget. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this go this way. Okay. It's up to you how big of a cut you want to put in there. That. Then we're going to do the same thing down here. Try to keep them about the same size. Okay. And then do the same thing. Gonna mask. working with this one because the masking paper does not seem to want to hold that in place. Okay. Okay. So that's one. Just gonna turn it and do the same thing on that side. Oh, Jesus. That's what happens when you don't think. What did I do? I used my light brush in my Melon Mambo, and I should not have done that. So let me do a little cleaning here. Okay, go back with my pretty in pink and finish that up. Okay. Grab our petal pink, our Petunia pop, and our floral image. And we're obviously not going to have quite a bit. Okay. Like that. Gonna turn it around. Put this back in place. Done, and do the same on this side. Add our little, okay. That's two done. Okay, and then we are definitely going to dress those guys up. I'm just making sure that we get our masking and our stamping out of the way. Well, all of our stamping's not done. All right, so next one, and you see that we're consistently using the same ripped piece, right? We're just putting them in different orientations to achieve different looks. Okay. I know I had 4 pieces of basic white. I seem not to have 4 pieces of basic white anymore. I mean, that is literally my life, you guys. I will have what I need already cut and put aside, and when I need them, they disappear. Oh, here they go. Nope, is that them? Nope, that's not them. Alrighty then. This is ridiculous. I mean, if I had really literally not cut those things, here we go, there they are. here. I think we're going to use this one. And I'm just estimating a border size. You can make it smaller, you can make it larger, whatever it is you wanted to do. Alright, I need some adhesive. Give me a second here. This is wall safe tape. It's a little removable. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna put it on the cardstock. I really am just gonna grab a little bit of it. Piece on the masking tape because that should adhere. It should. Question is, did it? What it should do and what it does do, two different things. And it's not working what I intended. We're gonna have to make, oh, I know what we can do. In this particular one, this is what we can do. Alright, now we're going to start with our Pretty in Pink again. You can make this as dark or as light as you would like. You can also change out your colors. Don't forget that. I'm just using pinks tonight because I really, if I don't force myself to use pink generally, or it's Valentine's Day, or well, I don't know what else. Mostly Valentine's Day is when I will break out my pinks because that's what I think pinks are for, generally. Okay? But as a general rule, I am not a pink person. I'm going to go back in, make that Pretty in Pink a little bit darker, because I want to be able to see some contrast between the colors. Okay? Yeah, put that back. Y'all, I went and got my nails done last night, and I think it's so funny because I told my nail tech that I wanted my color to be more, I wanted summer, I wanted bright, and I wanted, oh, I'm gonna still need these. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be in the red family or not. So she brought out this color, and it was called, you ready for this? Cajun Shrimp. Well, this reminds me of Cajun Craze, so I had to get it. You know that and I know that. So there we go. You knew that and I knew that even before I said it, right? Alright, so here we go with this. And again, one of the tips that I should have mentioned to you earlier with this technique, wherever that seam is right here, you might want to press just a little bit more to make sure that you get the, and I didn't do that well. But we're going to try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay. I find that my hands I just need a little bit more help these days. Making sure I'm stamping off on the on the mask and not on my cardstock. That would not be good. Alright, so here we go. We've got our third panel done. So we're going to have that, and we're going to do one more. Last one. So we're going to have two that's in portrait and two that's in landscape. Okay. And we're going to do kind of the same thing here. Line these up. And again, they should marry up because and they don't have to be straight, you guys. So really and truly, I could do something like this. Matter of fact, I am going to do that. This one, so you can create any shape you want. So we've got our 4 bases done, okay? Or our 4 focal point backgrounds done. I don't think this is a very bad combination. This is Petal Pink. I'm sorry, Pretty in Pink and Melon Mambo. I think it's a pretty cool color combination. that's it. But before we remove it, I'm going to go right back in with our Petunia pop. I should have changed out the image here, but it's already out, so we're going to leave it. Okay. I'm going to change this. Before I make a mess, because I heard it go, I heard it shift. I heard it shift. All right. So now we can take and remove all of this. Okay. And now we've got our unique card bases that now we need to decorate to create some cards. All right. Did everybody have a good evening? I tell you, I swear, I come with these videos with you guys, and I swear my life is so boring that I really don't ever have what I call anything interesting to talk to you guys about. I'm like, okay, I'm a boring kind of girl. So I think I'm going to work with this one. We may bring the other one back, but I'm not quite sure yet. So let's do at least 4 of these. Hopefully it'll fit. Barely. Okay. Now, it cannot be a Caron project without embossing powder, y'all. You just know this. Now, I use embossing powder, for multiple reasons. Of course, to get that high shine that you get from when you're using embossing powder. And then the other reason I do it is to also quick set the ink. I could just heat it, but if I'm going to go through the whole process of heating it, may as well emboss it. least that's my thought process, don't you think? All right, let's put this away. So we might just make this set tonight. I did have one more process I wanted to share with you, and I think I'm gonna do it, even if we go over a little over my normal time tonight. We're going to quickly add some color to this. Okay. And I do mean fairly quickly for me, okay? My swap group, we did a +1 swap last month, one of our swaps, and it was the triple time stamping, and all of the swaps are coming in now, and I'm trying my best to not cheat so that I don't spoil anybody's surprise, but these group of swappers that I swap with, in every group that I am, they are such talented women. If you ever want to see their projects, definitely pop on over to my Facebook page, because I do live videos. I started doing live videos where I showcase what they have made. So any card swap that I have, swap or not, if I receive a gift card or a card from someone, I am definitely going to put it on my channel and my Facebook group so that you guys can see. I love the talent of everybody that I craft with. I told you this was going to be quick coloring. I would normally take just a little bit more time, but we've got quite a bit of these to get done. I'm hoping with the smaller flower that we can kind of get away with one on each of the cards, but we might want to do two, so it might take a little bit longer. But that's okay. It's only sleep. That's it. It's only sleep. Who needs that? And all I'm doing is following these lines when I'm actually trying to work quickly. These artist lines really you follow what they have, the artist created, your shading will primarily be finished. Concentrating, y'all. Remember, I keep telling you guys that when it comes to coloring, especially when I'm concentrating and trying to go fast, I definitely can't speak. If you watched our roll of the die video on Sunday, roll of the die is where myself and several of other Stampin' Up demonstrators, we get together to create projects, card projects, with the elements rolled by the dice. And it was so much fun. You guys should, if you have the opportunity to go check out Tamika's video, she did an awesome job. So definitely go check her out. Tamika Crafting Like a Boss McGill. She did an awesome job. She used, I think it was a Country Birdhouse stamp set is what she used. So again, tonight we are playing with the ripping or tearing, depending on whichever term you prefer to use, technique. We've used it in one way where we use the rip as a mask. And I'm hoping to get done with these cards so I can show you a second. See, someone has joined me. Please let me know who you are. Thanks for joining me and watching. This is Petal Pink. This is the dark. And as always, my tip when you're using your blends is make sure to constantly turn the brush. That way you don't wear out one side of the nib versus the other. You'll constantly see that I'm flickering my bristle, my brush, and again, that's just so that I don't wear out one side versus the other. Quite a bit of these, and so I'm wanting just to make sure we get them done and colored. And I'm right now working on the dark petal pink, or pretty in pink, not petal pink. Hey Linda, how are ya? Ooh, New Zealand in the house. And I'm really not taking too much care because I'm going to go over the whole thing with the light. I know you're worried about that swap, but don't be worried. It will be fine. Paper crafting is not about stressing. Some of the girls out that other people, folks that I stamp with, they'll tell you that anything that causes me stress, it's time for me to kind of give it a go, give it an axe, because me and stress don't agree. Crafting is my happy place, and I don't got time for that. Right? We all need that thing in our lives that we go to escape from. Right? We go to escape. Okay, I think we got them all. No, you're fine. You are fine. I am going to die cut them, so I'm not worried and concerned about going outside of the lines. They will be die cut. And the thing about alcohol markers, don't forget that even though you put them on, they will dry just a little bit lighter. So if they appear dark, it's okay, darker than you expected. They will lighten up, okay? Wow, 2 days, huh? Even the U.S. Postal Service doesn't get anything to you in 2 days unless you pay for Priority or Global Express or anything like that, and I'm not doing that. Can't badmouth the U.S. Postal Service, though. I have a friend of mine that relocated to Ecuador, and he tells me, he's been there for like over a year, and I have not sent him a card. I haven't been able to. He doesn't have an address. At least not one that he's given to me. Oh, maybe that's what the problem is, right? Maybe. All right. These are done. I should have done the dark Petunia pop. I'm gonna go right back in there. Make some of these lines a little bit more accented. Just a few of them. I definitely want to be able to see a little bit of the purple in there. Blues and purples are my favorite colors. I'm definitely in the Regal family as far as Stampin' Up colors are concerned. That is definitely my wheelhouse. Okay. All right, just because we have a whole lot of other things to do with this card, I'm not going to get a little bit anal about the coloring. Okay? And so, I said I was going to let's do some Old Olive. Actually, this is lemon lime twist, so let's see how that guy is gonna look. Not bad for leaves, right? I need something darker. This one is Granny Apple Green. Oh yeah, much darker. Much better. I should have stuck with my gut. Linda, I can't wait to show you the Rippin tear that we've done. Okay. Now we need this to come down like that. And y'all, I am coloring really fast, okay? Just so you know. And then the light lemon lime twist to finish it off. I mostly will use 3 different shades of a color because I do want to show the depth of the color. Okay. Alright. So we are pretty much finished with our, I don't know if we're going to use that, so give me a minute. Let's take stock, get them die cut out, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to make these smaller, that way we can use our mini cut and emboss machine instead of having to step away. So we've cut these down small enough that we can definitely put them through the mini cut and emboss machine. Grabbing them out like that, and I'm gonna need that. Alright, they should be fairly easy to die cut, so let's go through them as quickly as we can. Alrighty, here we go. bit of trouble. Now, of course, it's because I'm rushing. Anytime I'm rushing, I can't figure things out. Or at least it takes me longer to figure things out. Let me put it that way. Not that I can't figure them out. It just takes me longer to figure them out. And it might be faster, for me to fussy cut this stuff out. Yes, my sound is on. Can you hear me better? One. I'm hearing a lot of feedback, which is why I had some stuff turned down. I don't know if you guys are getting that. But yes, the sound is on. There are coordinating dies for these, you guys. For me, I'm having just a little bit of challenge because I haven't practiced with it before in aligning the dies. So it's just easier. This is fairly just simple, really circular. So it should not take that long for me to fussy cut this. Okay. So I beg your indulgence as I do that. I'm gonna have to see if I can find someone that does videos. And the only reason I say that is because I haven't changed my settings from one to another, from one platform to another, and I have no issues with my sound when I'm in Facebook. But yet, every time lately when I do a video, I have some folks telling me they can't hear me, and I'm like, I haven't changed anything. So I would think the settings would be the same. I don't know why it's not. So I may have to try to figure that out in terms of maybe hiring somebody to kind of give me that answer. I'm thinking maybe I should probably learn to do those voiceovers. That way I could just record and voiceover I don't know how they do that. At least you can read the subtitles. Are you hearing anything at all, Linda? Got an appointment with my labs. I have got to go give blood. Ugh, I hate. My veins are just so, anyway, let's just say I have to do a lot to prepare to give blood. Very, very softly. Okay. So, that is one of my next missions. Alright, so I've got to prepare, almost ready. If you don't know, my Stampin' Up, my first post-COVID virtual class is on Saturday. It's my Stampin' Up class, and I'm featuring the Mediterranean Blooms sweet collection. In the class, we will make 3 cards. Thank you. We will make 3 cards in our time together. Part of the class is you have access to the Zoom recording. Actually, it's going to be recorded and uploaded to a private YouTube link that they will have access to. If you've registered for the class, you will have access to it in perpetuity. So you can create from that class using that same stamp set or using a different one if that's what you have, if you like the layout of the card projects. But our class is on Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you do register for the class now, you will probably more than likely be able to do either the class or the PDF only. So that is an option for you to do the PDF only. Alright, we're going to try with 1. And then next month, July's class, I haven't decided on that yet, which I should. I'm probably going to focus, we have some of the new releases on the 5th of July. There's going to be some new online exclusive products available. So I'm probably going to use one of those. So it's $15 for the class, like Linda. And $15 will get you, like I said, access to the class, the PDF tutorial, and links, access to the private restricted YouTube group. $12 is for the PDF. I'm sorry, the $10 is for the PDF only. You have the option to get a class kit. Obviously, you won't get the kit in time for the class, but you still have the option to do so. And of course, it's while supplies last, because if Stampin' Up's paper is not available, I can't give you the same. So I do reserve the right to substitute based upon inventory with Stampin' Up. For you non-demonstrators, if you are interested, we do have an option that for you do get the class free if you purchase the bundle being used for the class. You also have the opportunity to get the class for free and future tutorials for joining my team. Now, joining my team and purchasing from my online store, according with Stampin' Up policies, we can only do that in our markets. So if you are international, unfortunately, I would not be able to. You won't be able to purchase from myself or join my team. Alrighty. I told you this was faster for me. So everything is cut. So now let's see what we're gonna do. So this was our first, so these are our panels right here. Remember? That we used with our project. So I think I'm gonna have this guy go here. I think. Yeah, this one's gonna go here. I think I'm gonna try to use one. All right, guys. So let's get this one done. So before we do that, we're gonna add our greeting. Sending flowers and thinking of you. All right, that's a good one. And we're gonna put this here, like so. Where's my long block? I just had it the other day. There it is. And generally I would do this type of thing as far as this sentiment. I would more than likely do that in a positioning tool. Oh good, I'm glad you like the technique. I will again put the link to the event in my Facebook group. If you do have the opportunity to try this technique, please share it with me in that group. I would love to see what you make. That's how this card is gonna look, y'all. What do you think? I like it. Winkastella. I'm also gonna take my Winkastella and go over this guy too. Is that just black ink I used? Is this black ink? Yes, this is VersaFine Clear Nocturne Black Ink. So this will be based on that tonight. When I created these cards, I created them to be a gift set. So when you do create using with this technique and the masking, you can also do that as well. Create to be a gift set, or not. You can give them individually. It's your call. It's your project. Again, so the basic white was 4 by 5 1/4. The Melon Mambo is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And we are going to map this on basic white cardstock. Press that down. Okay. Gonna put this right there. Get a little bit of a lift there. Perfect. All right, now before I finish up with that, where's my linen thread? Need my third hand right there. That's how I tie some bows, y'all. Oops. I do like to do things that challenge myself. I am not a good bow maker, so I challenge myself to do it all the time. Sometimes I'm successful, and most times I'm not. But I make sure I do them. One, they add a little something extra to the project, and so it just makes sense to do them. And you know, as my school teachers would tell you, you know, you don't get better at something by not doing it, right? The only time you get better is when you keep practicing. Practice makes perfect. And that's how I'm making this bow. Just like that. You could do as many loops as you'd like, or as little loops as you'd like. It's just what makes sense to you for your project. Okay. Perfect. And then we're going to put this right there. Okay. My little glue dot holder. Add my glue dot. Get that in there. And voila. Okay. Okay. So you can use Memento and Versamark. In what capacity? In what frame of reference are you making that statement, Linda? I do have a bow maker. I most certainly do. In case you haven't realized, my style is, I love simple, and I don't like a lot of fuss. And it just seems like when which is why, even though I have die cutting dies for a project, you'll see that I fussy cut things. It's because I'm like, I don't want to go through the extra, which is why I don't do scrapbooking. Okay? I do not scrapbook for that very reason. Alright, so this is our first card, okay, with our masking technique and our rip. Alright, so what are we going to do with this second one right here? Alright, I think I'm going to need some greenery. And I didn't punch any of that out, so we might have to stamp those really quickly. Give me a second. Because we are going to put this here. And where are we going to do our sentiment? We want sending flowers and thinking of you. I think on this one, put that down there. I'm going to put thank you so much up here. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. It's positioning and auditioning where things should be, or where you plan on putting things in your project. Okay? And you lay it out. If you like where it's at, you keep it. If you don't, you move it. Simple as that. Okay? Make sure this is straight. Put my thank you so much right here. Of course, that's crooked because I stamped it. Now, this would be a teaching moment, okay? And I'm going to do that. So I'm going to leave this. So how do you fix this when you've obviously messed up, right? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay? That's about the same size. So I'm just going to re-stamp it on a piece of cardstock. Basic white. Trying to get it as straight as I can this time. And part of why I don't get it straight sometimes is because I'm hesitant about putting my head into the camera frame. So I'm never sure, I'm never 100% sure that it is where it needs to be. And that it doesn't help the fact that I can't stamp straight, okay? Does not help that at all. That's okay. Thanks for spending some time with me. I really appreciate that. Done. Let's get this out of the way for now. And then we're just going to put this where we're going to pop it up. And we're going to mat it. And you notice I'm not measuring at all. I'm using my little trick that I told you about, is I'm using the guide on my trimmer to line this up, okay? So as long as the edge of the word that or whatever it is that I'm cutting is lined up right with the edge of the guide, that's where I'm going to cut at. Okay? Make sure it's straight though. Make sure it's straight though. Messed that up. Oops. Maybe we'll leave the bottom the way it is. Maybe. And then we'll trim the top. Like so. Then we're going to mat this on a little bit of black. do appreciate any time that you choose to spend with me. Like I said, I know that you have the option to spend time with so many other demonstrators. We're all doing videos now, most of us, and so I thank you. Don't forget to check out the new kits in the Stampin' Up kit collection. Every month, Stampin' Up releases 2 kits. Didn't work out so well. It's not lining up right, and I just messed it up. Ugh. But there's more paper. That is the beautiful thing about paper crafting. It's all paper. Just made this a smaller border than we would have. Gonna put this right here because we made a mistake, right? So we're gonna cover that up. Baby's saying, "Where's my mom?" She absolutely hates well, I would say she hates evenings where I do my videos, because I come home from work and I go straight into the craft room to prep, and I pop out of the craft room and then I go into the kitchen, grab dinner, feed her, and that's it. Back in the craft room in time for a video. She does not like at all. She doesn't. Alright, so I am going to stamp some greenery on this, okay? And I am going to stamp it on green. That way I don't have to color it. Didn't you learn that trick? Just so I don't have to color it, I'm going to stamp it on another color. Hey, you do whatever you got to do, right? That's one. Two. So this Friday or Thursday, is it Friday? This Friday, the city, every year the city of Austin, and I'm sure other places do too, they put a program on to honor the city workers, city employees, women veterans. And if you did not know, I am a retired Army veteran. I served, I tell you, I've had a varied career in the military. I started as a chemo. You know what a chemo is? I started as a chemical officer. And let me tell you, my bosses did not like me. And I don't mean it in a negative way that they didn't like me that way, but nobody ever liked their chemos until they needed their chemos. Okay? One of our primary responsibility was making sure that our soldiers or troops, you know, if we had to go into a theater of operation, because I think when I got commissioned, when we got commissioned, the whole Desert Storm thing was brewing, and deployments were, you know, a concern, and so part of my job, the first unit I was in was with an aviation regiment, rests and this, that, and the other. So one of the things was, for me, is to make sure that our readiness as far as chemical warfare was of training. You have X amount of time to put your mask on, to do this, that, and the other. And we would put so when I planned my exercises and had these infills in there, infiltration infills, if they weren't able to do what they needed to do to get into the air, then they couldn't fly. They could not fly. So the first time I did it, I was a little old lieutenant. And I don't know, I think it was like, it was over like 20% of the pilots that were grounded because they could not get their mask on in time, you know, for them to get to the aircraft, to get off the ground. And the commander was not happy with me. So needless to say, he did not want me doing exercises anymore. And I was relegated to being what they call the USR officer, Unit Status Readiness Report Officer. That was my duties. He's like, you will not gas my pilots anymore. I'm like, sir, I wasn't gassing your pilots. They're the ones that just happen to not be ready. But that was not my intention, to gas your pilots. Okay. This one we're going to put on our petal pink, our pretty in pink card base, our matte layer. I know this was a long night, you guys, and I do appreciate that. So if you join me tomorrow in my Facebook group, I'm gonna do the second technique with the ripping and tearing technique, along with some other projects. But I'm gonna do that second one in that group, just so that you do see another method with the ripping and tearing technique. Okay. I use so much of these. I do. I have them on a monthly subscription on my Amazon. It's on my subscribe and save list on Amazon because I use them so much. The profile is fairly low. If I was to even attempt to use dimensionals on this, I would use almost a whole pack. I am gonna go back and add some rhinestones on these, just to finish them off. This is number 2. And number 3, where's the designer series paper? I know I had it somewhere. Here it is. So I just need a piece that is 2 by 4. I'm gonna try to make sure, so this is non-directional, so that's fine. Okay. This right across here, like so. Add these 2. Or maybe 1, I'm not sure. And sentiment. And for this one, might do another thank you on that one. Absolutely. So don't forget to join us on Thursday evening. Thursday we have got, I'm so used to being a solitary stamper because I do spend most of the time, so sometimes, so not talking while I'm crafting is a is typical for me. So I interact a lot more, obviously, if you're on here interacting with me. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. Now our sentiment. Okay. Grab a piece of basic white. I'm glad I have all these scraps hanging around. It's just easier. No, that one's too small. What is going on here? I'm not understanding why it's not going in there. No, I'm not. What is going on? It's got something to do with this piece of paper, that's for sure. Because it's not wanting to go in. But that other piece, there we go. Oh, look at that. Little tips and tricks. So if you do cut your paper short or exact size, but it's not long enough, just grab a piece of sticky note and add it there, and then you can use that as extra leverage to get the cardstock through the to get it to be able to punch it out. All right, so let's finish this one up really quickly. So this is what I'm seeing. Sometimes what you see is not necessarily what is best for the card. So we're going to have a 2-inch there. I'm going to put this here, I think. Maybe here. And then I'm going to do these like so. We can spread them out a little bit more. So I think that's how this is gonna go. And then, oh yeah, sorry, that just came straight to mind there, just like that. Again, I just had the idea as to what I wanted to do, and now is to make sure and see if reality and if they coincide, if they mesh. Okay. Then I want to put these two. Now, can I get away with one? Oh. I think I can. That way I leave the other two for that. Okay? I'm gonna put, here's how I'm gonna do that. Okay, that's gonna go here. Alright, and this guy is gonna go see what I tell you about me having stuff already pre-done and then can't find it? Well, I know I showed you two pieces today. Here they are. Oh no. I think I'm gonna go with this one. That'll work on this one. And again, I'm just using these colors though because one, I don't, like I said, I don't normally do much in pinks unless somebody's asked me to make a card that's in pink, or it's Valentine's Day or some other day like that. But generally I just don't do pink. It is definitely not a color that I wear a lot of, that I own a lot of. I am a purple girl though, that is for sure. I think in a past life I was of royal descent or something. Alright guys, we're going on 2 hours, so I'm not going to have the opportunity to finish that third card for you. So, or last card. I am going to finish it though, and I will share with you all 4 cards so that you can see the complete set. Okay? I generally just don't like, I like to keep my videos about an hour, hour and a half max. I'm going on 2 hours and that's way too long. So, for me. So, we are finished with 3 of the 4 cards. Check back on my Facebook page. And again, I'll put the link in there. That way you can see all 4 cards. And if you don't check out Facebook, I'm going to put them on Pinterest as well, so you'll see them on Pinterest. So don't forget to check out that Pinterest board. Also, check out my board for ideas. Oh boy. And thank you for watching tonight. Join me in my Facebook group tomorrow. As I said, I am going to do the second technique. With the torn paper. So join me over there tomorrow. I'm going to go live at about 7:45, 8 o'clock. I'm trying to do a little bit earlier, so 7:45 is earlier for me. So I'm going to try to go live at about 7:45 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow in my Facebook group. So join me over there so you can see the second technique and see what else we're going to create. Alright, so here we have our projects for tonight, you guys, the ones that we were able to finish. So I do thank you for joining us for that. And again, the colors that we played around with tonight were Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, and Melon Mambo were the colors, and then we added a little bit of garden green just to finish it off with the leaves. Thank you again, guys. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. If not, join us back here on Thursday where we case the annual catalog and see what we create on Thursday, 7:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for joining me tonight, you guys. Have a happy